All right, so no intro. Doing this off stream. And if you can't tell, I have Lucas and Lucy with me. Lucy, can you say hi?
Hi.
Lucas, can you say hi?
Hi. Hi.
So third week of this, you know how it goes. We're gonna talk about Colts, IU football, random
we
sports.
Got mommy too.
Yes, you see my beautiful wife in the background crafting. Christina, turn and wave. She's not happy about that.
La 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 la.
But
La la la.
okay. IU football, random sports, and then fantasy football. That's how we'll wrap it up. Yep, one microphone for the three of us. All right. So, Colts. We got lucky. We should have lost to Kansas City, although all week the spread was 5.5, 6.5 points. Never really. It wasn't what I thought it should have been. Kansas City being how good they are with all their talent, and just offensively and defensively, I thought should have been higher than a 6.5 point spread. But honestly, as Colts fans, we need to send a thank you letter to Chris Jones for the unsportsmanlike conduct penalty. He saved the drive. No one knows, and no one is saying what he said to Matt Ryan, but like I said, all Colts fans need to send him a thank you letter. And I can put the Kansas City Chiefs address in the bio of this, or in the description, but that people tune in for them sometimes. But like I said, we need to thank Chris Jones. Honestly, Matt Ryan and the entire team, exception of some defensive players, they played like dog water. I mean, I don't know why Chris Ballard thought a 37-year-old who's like 6 years off of his MVP run was the best choice, but he's also on the tail end of his career, and whoever thought that Matt Ryan was the best idea, can you please stop? Hey, Lucy, be a good example. Whoever thought that a 37-year-old on the tail end of his career was a good idea, they need to put on life support because they have no brainwaves. Literally one of the worst decisions we could have made in the offseason. I think Reich has saved his job for now, but he still needs to go. And honestly, the Colts only won yesterday because they decided to open up the roof. So whoever makes that call on to open up the roof of the stadium and open up the north gate or the north window, they need a game ball. They are the game MVP. Last week when I did my rant, it came out shortly after that Sean Payton, former Saints coach, I forget where else he coached, he wants to come back to coaching the NFL for the right place. What do you need? Alright, Kleenex. I'm about to have a Kleenex counter in this. Alright. You okay, Lucy? Alright. But he wants to come back to the right situation. I think the Colts can be that situation if they decide to give up on Foles, give up on Ryan, and go with Ellinger. We don't need a tank. I said this last week. We don't need a tank for Bryce Young. Let him hire Sean Payton. Give Sam Ellinger a fair shake and see what happens. I don't know why they're not giving him a shot. I want to assume it's because he wears the number 4 like Jim Harbaugh, and maybe that left a bad taste in the Irsay's mouth. But the Colts haven't been good since Irsay got off his drugs. and I wholeheartedly believe that. All right. And then Darius Leonard sitting out for the third week. I get it. He had back surgery, but he had back surgery in June. Where at the end of September, I don't know what the issue was. Maybe it's a nerve thing. But I don't get it. They haven't played since since January, when they lost in that horrible game to Jacksonville. What I don't get is, why did he wait until June? Like, what? Was he too busy at the Social Security office and the DMV getting a new license and getting a new getting a new license and getting a new Social Security card with his updated name, that he had to prolong his doctor visit? It makes no sense. He should have done it in January, March even, or February. January, March. You have 3 prime months, but no, you waited until the end of June to get your back surgery. But I digress. It was announced today that they're ending the contact aspect of the Pro Bowl, because none of the players actually really care about the Pro Bowl. If you watch it, it's a joke. It's like watching the NBA All-Star Game. That also is a joke. The only All-Star game where they honestly play, actually 2 All-Star games where they actually play to like win, is the NHL and the MLB. MLB, that I'm pretty sure still determines who has home field advantage during the World Series. And the NHL, same thing for the Stanley Cup. But either way, NBA, NFL, All-Star games, or whatever they are a joke. Now, they're doing a week of skill challenges, and I'm interested to see how that is. If that's going to be a dodgeball, and see who can throw the ball the farthest, and all this other stuff. Then they're going to cap it off, you okay, Lucas, with a flag football game. Don't touch that. What I want to do with the flag football game, back up, turd, is
I don't want to back up.
Lucy, I'm the main attraction.
I'm the attraction this time.
I want to see them get old skill players in there, like get Chad Johnson, Terrell Owens, get Brandon Marshall. I know I just named off 3 receivers. Give Ray Rice a chance. Hey, diddle diddle, Ray Rice up the middle. I like that. Get Rondé and Tiki Barber out. I want to see them play. Michael Vick. He just shut his finger in the door. He's okay, everybody. But that's what I want to see with the Pro Bowl. All right, next we're going on to IU football.
I need people.
Okay, IU football. So they played Cincinnati. Stop.
Calm it down. Now.
So IU, they played Cincinnati this past Saturday. All week it was set at 16.5, 14-point spread. At one point it was a 7-point spread. But that was all before the kickoff on Saturday. And IU lost by 21 points. Now, I love Tom Allen and the culture that he has created in this program, and how it's a team first place. But at some point, you got to start winning games, my guy. Like, you can only be like, oh, everybody love everybody. ELE or Leo love each other. But that won't matter if you don't start winning games. You got to start winning games, dude. Yeah, we did good in 2020 or 2020 because of COVID. But, I mean, we can't rest on our laurels of one season, because you did great. You had one loss against Ohio State, and then they got gypped out of the Big Ten championship game, and then after that they go and lay an egg in a bowl game, and then they've laid nothing but eggs since then. Like, got to figure it out. Now I think I can bounce back against Nebraska, but there's the potential that it is a trap game.
It's a trap game because it's not a trap game.
For those of you who don't know what a trap game is, it's...
No trap game.
Oh, no trap game? Okay, I won't mention. So, trap game is when you overlook your opponent you don't take them seriously, and then they end up just demolishing you. Now, after that, they have IU has a home game against Michigan, who after their first 4 games, they're averaging 50 points a game while giving up 44 points over those 4 games. So their defense is averaging 11 points per game, like defensively, which is not bad at all. Now Michigan, their schedule started off with Colorado State, then Hawaii, then UConn, and then last week it was against Maryland, which that was their closest game. I think they won by a touchdown, like 34-27, but still, they didn't seem to have lost a step from last year. So you're done? All right, they've reloaded, and all their missing pieces that got drafted, and you're done? Okay. And graduated, so IU needs to bring their A game. Now, IU, in the past, they built themselves on defense, but only forcing 8 turnovers in 4 weeks is weak. That they need that ball hawk, that killer instinct mentality instead of just playing not to get blown out. They play to keep it close instead of playing to win. I get IU is a basketball school, but at some point you got to become more than a basketball school. Like Penn State, they're good at football, they're okay at basketball, they're decent at track, they're decent at girls soccer, they're great at wrestling. Iowa, they were good at football until this year. They're great at wrestling. Let me see. Florida, when Billy Donovan was there, they were great at basketball, and when he was there, Urban Meyer was there, so they were great at football. You can't be. Nice. I like the colors on it too. You can't be a one-dimensional school. You got I get it. IU, Indiana, it's a basketball state, but at some point you got to start spreading out your eggs. You can't put all your eggs in that basket, because when's the last time IU basketball did anything good? Bob Knight, maybe Kelvin Sampson. Hey.
Hey, no umbrellas inside. Umbrellas inside. Dangerous.
Bad luck. I mean, Tom Crean wasn't good. I mean, Tom Crean was okay. Archie Miller was a bust. And now we're on Mike Brown. Mike Brown has potential, but I'm not holding my breath. So before I get into fantasy football, let me hold on. This one might be shorter because I'm talking quicker. I'm not dealing with kids as much. Let somebody say, I do that shall be the boom. All right. So, talking about things I saw in headlines today, in general, things I heard, things that have been going on. I think in today's sports, professional athletes have way too much power. Like, I was reading today that Steph Curry called Adam Silver when the decision about Steve Sarver, the Suns, and what is the females team? The WNBA and the NBA owner in Phoenix, after he allegedly said the N-word while quoting somebody, he got a year suspension and like a $5 million fine. Steph Curry called Adam Silver and said, hey, how come it's only this happening and not a bunch of other stuff? Steph, stay in your lane, dog. Like, you are only affiliated with the Golden State Warriors. The only way you're affiliated with Phoenix in any way, shape, or form is they're both in the Western Conference. So I'm gonna say this again: stay in your lane. Like you, LeBron, like all y'all have way too much power, and you're like, oh well, we're gonna invoke change. No, you don't invoke change. You're just a headache. You have this God complex, and it's annoying. A lot of athletes have it, and it's super annoying. The Saints read today, they said that they're going to stick with Jameis Winston as their starting quarterback, even though there have been inconsistencies on offense. Well, I'm going to be honest with you. Jameis Winston is your inconsistency on offense. He has not been consistent since he left Florida State. He has not been consistent since he's been stealing those crab legs. He may pop off a game or two, but I mean, he's not great. And does anyone remember that pregame speech when he's like, "Oh, we're gonna eat a W today," blah 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 blah. And Deshaun Jackson was looking at him like, "Hey, this ain't it, dog." Like, that was in Tampa Bay. But it also came out that he's playing with like a small fracture in his back. Get it fixed. You got Taysom Hill. Let him tilt the rock for a minute.
Hey,
Get that fixed and
get that closer to me.
no, and be healthy so you can actually help your team win some games. Now on Saturday, scrolling through Instagram, I saw that Ohio State played Wisconsin. If you know anything about me, you know I'm not a fan of Ohio State. Hey, will you throw this away, please? Yep. One of my favorite Colts players, Marvin Harrison, the number 88, linked up. He went to Syracuse. He's from Philly. Played with Peyton. Just hands down my favorite receiver of all time. His son is playing receiver at Ohio State, and his son was out there playing in a game with an Apple Watch on that was actively on and Louis Vuitton cleats. This NIL stuff, this NIL stuff may have gotten a bit out of hand. Rocking Louis Vuitton and Apple in the middle of a game, that's a bold move. Do you want me to open it? Oh no, they're already open. And honestly, I would say Urban Meyer probably wouldn't have let that happen, but he also probably would have been worried about some chick that's not his wife at his bar. So, can you really say Urban wouldn't have let that happen? It just seems a lot is happening under Ryan Day that wouldn't happen under Urban. But Urban also had a murderer and a racist on his team in Florida, and he fingered some chick's butthole last year while he was coaching in the NFL. So his morals are pretty low. Mark Sanchez will no longer live in infamy as someone who blundered because of someone else's posterior. If you don't know, you can look up on YouTube after you're done watching this butt fumble. All you literally have to type in butt fumble and Mark Sanchez will pop up. Yesterday Miami's playing Buffalo in Miami. Thomas Morstead, Miami's punter, punted the ball into one of his upbacks' butt. They call it the butt punt. But because of that, they still didn't lose the game. They won by 2. Miami, as shocked as everybody is still the only undefeated team in the AFC, while Las Vegas is the only team, I think, in the entire NFL without a win. I could be wrong. Sorry. Now, so I watched the end of the Miami Bills game, and Miami, so they had the punt that resulted in safety going off the upback's butt, and then Miami punted it off to Buffalo. Buffalo has like a minute 40, no timeouts. Now, Buffalo, they had to get, I forget where they had to get to. I think Miami's 37 to try and kick a game winner. They were driving, but all the Dolphins players, like after the play was over, they try and rip the ball out. They would lay on Bills players a little bit long, like wasting time, burning obvious clock, because they knew that Buffalo had to get up, get set, and run a play. And I thought that's kind of Bush League, but I mean, it is what it is. But so because of all that, the Bills ran out of time, and they go to the booth, and unbeknownst to the offensive coordinator, homeboy was caught in 4K, smashing his headset, smashing a tablet, throwing his play sheets everywhere, throwing scouting reports. Like, he was going through it. And someone finally noticed it, and they put their hand in front of the camera. Are you okay? They put their hand in front of the camera as to hide it, but it's... Go get a new one, Lucas. Go get a new one. But sorry, the damage was already done. He got caught, and it was kind of funny. Then something else that happened in the primetime game last night between between Denver and San Francisco. Jimmy G, he was kind of scrambling, and then he stepped out of bounds as he made a pass for positive yards. So Dan Orlovsky, former Lions quarterback, I forget where else he played, is no longer a member of a club by himself. Like Mark Sanchez is no longer the member of the Butt Blunder Club. Dan Orlovsky ran out on the out of bounds line. He was technically out of bounds at the back in the end zone and made a forward progress pass, I think for a first down, but he was out of bounds, so it resulted in a safety. Jimmy G did that, and now he'll always have that on his record. And about last night's Sunday Night Football game, an 11-10 final score for Sunday Night Football is abysmal. Mr. Unlimited Russell Wilson seemed limited against a team that he used to run into the ground for years. Jimmy G had a better passer rating and threw for more yards, and that was even with throwing an interception. So Mr. Unlimited seemed very limited against the team that he has ran the table against.
And look at that, this time. We got it down.
So before I go into other sports, I'm talking a little bit more about college football.
On this side, I'm on this side. I got even
Purdue.
This side.
Yep. Lucas is over here. I'm right here. And Lucy's right here.
Yeah.
So Purdue played Florida Atlantic University. They won by 2. The game should not have been that close, in my opinion. It's Florida Atlantic. Hey, cover your mouth when you cough. And it's... Purdue fans are probably riding high right now. Like, oh, we beat Florida Atlantic, and you finally lost. Purdue, you're 2-2. The 2 teams you beat wouldn't be happy about. IU lost to a team that was in the Final Four last year for the college football playoffs. Like, calm down. But, and then I saw something that Herm Edwards got fired. And from everything that's coming out about it, which not a lot is, because everyone's focused on Ime Udoka from Boston for his relations with the front office worker. Hey, the man laid pipe. Who cares? I don't see why he's getting suspended over it. Maybe it's against company and NBA policy, but still, that's getting more coverage over what happened, how it happened, and whatnot. Doesn't seem important. This Herm Edwards thing, he got fired on the field after he lost. That doesn't happen a lot. His staff, his own staff members that he handpicked to work with him, work for him at Arizona State, they were sending their play sheets to opposing teams so that they could lose. They were trying to get this man out of there. They were illegally recruiting kids so they could get invested by the NCAA, and then he could get fired or suspended or whatnot. And then that would be grounds for firing. Arizona State needs to be investigated. Someone else already said this, and I'm reiterating it. From the top down, not Herm. Although Herm needs to get his house in order. From the AD to the associate AD to the president of the school to his entire staff, they need to be investigated because that's shady what they did. Now, the important part of today is talking about Albert Pujols. Hey, are you gonna throw up? Okay. Hey, slow down. You okay?
Yeah, I don't want to just like this.
Okay. Hey, slow down. Look at me. Slow down. Take a break from eating. Albert Pujols, Cardinals great. He has finally hit 700 home runs. He's within 14 of tying for third all time and 15 for having third all time on the home runs list by himself, having it outright. But with 8 games left, not including postseason, which they've not clinched it, that's highly unlikely. Now, what I would love to see with Molina and Pujols retiring after this season, and with the possibility of Wainwright, I'd like to see them make a deep run. But I'm just happy that Yadier Molina stayed with the Cardinals his entire stint in the MLB, and that Albert is retiring as a Cardinal. And oh, the castle's down. Okay. And then so talk about one home run hitter, we'll talk about another. Aaron Judge has been stuck on 60 home runs, I think, since like last Thursday. And I blame the announcers and media in general for making a big deal about it. I think things like this or that can get into a player's head. And it seems to, I feel like it got into his. I think it's affected, it's definitely affected the fans at Yankee Stadium. It's affected his family because every time he flies out, everyone gets excited. They get on their feet. They think he's tying Roger Maris, which he's 2 away from the all-time season record, single season home run record. But yep, those are my headphones. But I think there's a lot of pressure on him to break it. I don't think it's gonna happen. Yep. Hey, slow down. But that's just my opinion. Alright. Now, to talk about fantasy football for a second, your boy. Maybe this is better. Yeah, this is better. Your boy. I need to probably change my name. Your boy won this week. I was projected to lose. I mean, the guys playing against had Jalen Hurts, Taylor, Eckler, Jefferson, Amon-Ross, St. Brown, Waller, Cup. I'm not gonna go through defensive plays, but yeah, the Rams defense, Justin Tucker. And what saved me was Lamar Jackson. He had 5 total touchdowns. McCaffrey had an okay game. Chubb had a good game, as did DK had a okay game. Kittle, it was nice having him back. First game back of the year. Andrews popped off. Wilkins had a good game. Stop, sir. Bosa was okay. Bobby Wagner did great for me. Lattimore underperformed, but Von Bell kind of picked up for his lack of production. And then I started the Buccaneers defense, which I shouldn't have, but they beat out the Rams defense. Bass had a good game, and then neither of our head coaches got a point. So that'll put me on 2-1 in the year. I should have started. Oh, where is it? Not Buddha. I should have started the Packers defense and Jalen Ramsey. But I mean, it is what it is. So because of that, oh man, that'll put me at 2-1. 2-1. Jake and Marcus play. Finish up tonight. Jake is done scoring, and Marcus has 2 players playing tonight. Let me. Team. Check. Marcus has Saquon Barkley. Okay, thank you. Has Saquon Barkley and Micah Parsons playing tonight. Roquan Smith popped off for Marcus. Pittman had a good game. AJ Brown had a good game. Debo had a decent game. Josh Allen is very consistent. His defense is what hurt Marcus. His defense is what hurt him for this week, and the fact that the Bengals defense has 15 points. But I think Parsons and Saquon, I mean, he's only down by 17. I think he can get that tonight. Which then, that if that's the case, that'd put Jake at 0-3. I'd be at 2-1. 2-1 and 2-1. So we'd have 3 teams at 2-1 and 1 team at 0-3. And you can right here you can see how many points for, points against, and the moves. So I have 329 points for me, 389 points against me.
Yeah.
Oh, when I'm done, okay. All right. And then I've made 4 roster moves. That's because Buda Baker. I picked up Buda. I put Jamal Adams on IR. I dropped Godwin and picked up, I forget who I picked up. I also picked up Hawkinson. But anyway, so I'll see if I can look at next week. Next week, week 3. Oh yeah, we're in week 3. I'm in week 4. Week 4. Next week I got Baltimore versus Buffalo, or Rodgers versus New England, McCaffrey versus Arizona, Chubb versus Atlanta, Higgins versus Miami. That's a Thursday game. D-Hop is out until I think he's out until week 11 against San Francisco. Leonard's out, Butker's out, but Kittle against the Rams. Andrews against Buffalo. Hawkinson against Seattle. I might let this one ride. I might Buccaneers against Kansas City. I'm gonna change defense. 7.5. Bucker's out. Ramsey, San Francisco. Yeah. Linebacker. Von Miller was very underwhelming. I might drop him. Maybe I should message him on Instagram and let him know, like, hey, I'm sorry, but you're not producing like I thought. I got to drop you from my fantasy team. Same as Cam Akers. Donald, 4-7. That's going to be a tough call. But anyway, that's this week's sports talk. I hope you all enjoyed it. I'll see y'all around. Take it easy. Till next time.